So, The Idol, a show plagued in so much controversy and distaste and just plagued by hatred from critics, from fans, watchers, viewers all over. Even got to the point where The Weeknd had to come out himself and defend this show against fans because of the amount of hate it was just getting from everywhere all at once. But his criticisms were pretty valid. Most people that's fueling this hate train about the show, how atrocious and despicable it is, probably haven't taken the time of the day to watch the show themselves. They're just jumping on the bandwagon and getting in line with everyone else. So I thought, why not take the time out for me to actually watch the show, catch up, see is it really the worst show of all time, form my own opinion, and then explain to you guys why people have the opinion on the show that they do. Now, I'm not gonna lie, some of my favorite YouTubers at the moment already made videos on this show, those being Moist Critical. I seen him talk about the show twice now.
He's like, yeah, now imagine my tongue on your pussy. Yeah, my wet tongue's on your pussy right now.
And also Netflix Party, she just recently dropped a video on this.
What's wrong with him?
He's so rapey.
Yeah, I kind of like that about him.
So I would be lying if I didn't say I was going into the show with a biased review as is, but I was open to having my mind changed. So is The Idol really the worst show of all time, or are people just overrating or over-hating the show as is? Well, the show is fucking horrendous. I'm not gonna even lie. Like, there's no sugarcoating. The show is terrible, and there's a lot of problems with it. One of the main ones being one I don't really see a lot of people pointing out that we're gonna talk about later. But first, we're gonna have a breakdown of what the show is about, what it could have been, and everything like that. And then I'll point out all the problems that people are having with it. I also heard it was supposed to originally be 6 episodes. At the time of recording this should be releasing the Sunday that the final episode, the season finale, is coming out. It was originally supposed to be 6, but once I heard it was 5, I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna make this video because one episode is not gonna make this show better after I already seen the first 4. It's just not happening. But the fact that they already were only doing 6 episodes and now they just cut it down to 5, the writing is on the wall for this show. That's all I can say. So no more talking. Let's jump into The Idol. Why everyone is shitting on it, why people perceive it as the worst show of all time. I'm gonna break it down for all you guys who don't know. If you enjoy it, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, tell me what else you want to see. But this video is gonna give me a headache by the end. Let's just get into it. Okay, this part is post video already being done. I was editing and I've been seeing a lot of talk about this show in the past few days regarding Selena Gomez and The Weeknd. So we're gonna point that out at the very end. So stick out for that because this shit just got even weirder.
Someone came on her face.
First of all, ew. Second of all, ew.
So first off, what is The Idol actually fucking about? Because we just see all the cringe scenes and all the bullshit on social media, but what is the show actually about? So The Idol focuses on Jocelyn, an aspiring pop idol who, after having a nervous breakdown that caused her last tour to be canceled due to her mother passing, she is on the path to reclaim her title as one of the biggest, sexiest pop stars in America, but she begins a complex relationship with this guy Tedros, who is a self-help guru and the leader of a contemporary cult. Now listen. At first glance, when I first read that, the first half sounds promising. It sounds like a lot of appeal, a lot they could do with this story, this character, a lot they could reveal to audiences about fame and being a pop star and the way the industry uses you, how everything works. And it's a lot of story they could tell. But then when you read that second half of this guy being in a cult and a self-help guru, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because Because a large debate that I see a lot is when someone of fame or of status is struggling with something like depression or anything like that, it's shrugged off by, I guess, regular, normal people living everyday lives, working 9 to 5s, because they feel like that person is in a position where they can't be depressed or anything like that. They got the fame, the status, everything that anyone else would want. But this show had a chance to go into that, dive into it, give their perspective of how things happen, the lack of control some of these people have over their own lives, the pressure to please their fans, the constraint that's held on them by managers, agents, family members, the labels, everything alike. And they had a chance of showing an interesting outlook and point of view from Jocelyn in this show, and they completely failed at it. Like, this show should have been a smash hit with the premise it had at the very beginning, or the premise we thought it had at least going into it. And there's two easy people to blame for this viewpoint we got in this show, and that's Sam Levinson and The Week and Abel. And we're gonna talk about both of them later in this video, because there are two major problems with the direction of this show and Abel within this show. So we're gonna get to those guys later. But overall, the show had great grounds and a great foundation to stand on for what the show could have been, but just failed miserably at executing that outcome for several reasons that we're gonna dive into. Once again, a simple breakdown of what the show was supposed to be about, I guess, because it was not about that at all, or at least it didn't give us the aspects we were looking for. But that premise, that breakdown had a lot of potential that we unfortunately weren't gonna get, and I would be surprised if this show gets a season 2. I already heard rumblings of a season 2, people saying HBO loves this, but I guess we're gonna see. But now let's dive into the actual core problems of The Idol. Now, at the core, The Idol is nothing but a revolting and disgusting show, like from beginning, middle, and end. It's plastered with so many weird sex scenes and fetishes throughout all the episodes. Like, you get that multiple times in each of the episodes. It's very off-putting and unpleasant to watch. Like, the shit is so weird, and the dialogue amplifies it in making the shit even more gruesome and sickening to listen to and be able to get through. Like, you can digest all this at once, and this is me trying to binge watch all 4 episodes throughout. Like, I couldn't do it. And then I live with my grandma. Imagine that. You guys know what scenes are in this show. I live with my grandma and this starts playing.
Oh my god. Oh, I was fucking devout.
Like, no bullshit right now. Let's keep it a buck. Did Brooches jack off on a wall, or to a wall? Like, what did I just witness? Like, whoa, why am I watching this show? And before someone says it in the comments, I know the scenes are supposed to be uncomfortable. I know what they're trying to convey, but it doesn't execute on this well either. It's like it's overly provocative and overly sexual just for the sake of being there, because it really has no long-term consequences, or doesn't really, like, it doesn't matter. They just repeatedly do this throughout the entire episode. It's like this is what's enticing people to watch the show. This is all you see all over social media too, is people talking about these crazy fetishes of these sex scenes. Like I said, Jocelyn has a very fascinating and compelling story that could be told, but there is no focus on that at all. We're basically watching televised porn. That's what this is. That's far. That's something crazy to say, but that's all this really is. This is just director's fetish, a dream, or something. Like, how do you direct this and feel comfortable with the product that you're putting out for the masses to see? Like, it makes no sense how this show got greenlit after all this. The whole show is literally just a montage, a collage, or assortment, whatever you want to call it, of sex scenes. Like, it's so weird, and I don't understand why they did this when they could have focused on the exploitation of this pop star and the way the industry really is. They had a chance to do something amazing with this show, and what they chose to do is not only bad, but it's the worst thing they could have possibly done. Like, they went totally in the opposite direction and did not look back. Also, I found out that apparently, and I don't know how true this is, so you can let me know down below in the comments, but the original director or showrunner or whoever it was, the head of the show, basically they got fired or they went a different direction because she was a woman and they didn't want it to be too much of a woman's perspective, which is fucking stupid because Jocelyn is the main character, so it should be told from a woman's perspective, but that's neither here or there. So they got rid of her, and basically The Weeknd and Sam Levinson, who once again we're gonna talk about, kind of came in and put more of their perspective into the picture, and this is what we got: soft porn. Yes, literally, this is what we got because of the events that followed. And this show has been in the development for a while. Like, I heard about it almost 2 years ago, at least over a year for sure. So it's weird that they decided to make that decision, and this is the outcome we got from it. And it shows that there's no way her vision could have been worse than what we got. Like, it's no way possible. I can't believe that at all. Next problem, and I think this one is even bigger than the sexual fetish shit, and that's just because even in TV shows people deem and consider good, there's still a lot of that in those shows. The over-sexualization of male and female characters, we see it all the time. But in this show, the main problem I have with it is that it's just insanely boring. Like, the overall thing is just so underwhelming. When the weird sexual shit isn't happening, then nothing else is happening in this show. Like, real shit, the show started off slow, but I'm like, okay, it's gonna work into it and build up to it, but it really didn't. Like, it never actually got going. Like, the entirety of the pilot episode, the majority of the first 30-35 minutes before The Weeknd, before Tedros or whatever his name enters her house, it's all just strange, boring, just uninteresting. Like, nothing is going on. Like, if you didn't see that, nothing really would change. Like, you could miss a good majority of most of these episodes and you won't really miss out on anything, and that's weird to say, especially for a show with only 5 episodes. Why is your episodes feeling like filler? Like, it's so weird, and this makes me so mad because, like I said, it's so boring, but there's so much they could have done with the story. Like, originally I thought it was supposed to be like the exploitation or the mistreatment, misguiding of these idols, these pop stars, into the wrong path, something that they don't think is morally correct, but they have to go along with, and things of that nature. But they don't do that at all. And if they're not fucking, nothing else is happening. Bro, I was losing my mind. Bro, I fell asleep on this show so many times, it's ridiculous. You guys know, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of you can relate to this. When you used to get home from school, especially if you went to school early like I did in high school, 6, 7 in the morning, get home after school like 4 or 5, you drained, tired, them after school naps hit different. Like, they just did. They hit different. Wake up, you felt like you was in a coma. You don't remember nothing. I went into one of those for the first time since high school because of this show. It put me to sleep so fucking fast. Literally, I woke up one time and I'm like, okay, I'm up, I'm energized, I'll be able to get through it and watch it and stay focused. I went back to sleep before one of the episodes even finished. It was ridiculous. I didn't wake up again till The Weeknd, till Tedros said this dumbass shit on my screen.
I wanna grab you by the ass while I suffocate you with my cock.
Dog, I heard this in my sleep, and once again, I live with my grandma. So when I heard this, I woke up. I'm like, bro, let me finish this show, actually get it out the way, and so I don't have to worry about this ever again. And I'm glad I'm making a video now and not waiting for episode 5. I'll still check out episode 5, see what happens. This video is probably dropping the day that episode is set to release, so I might as well finish it. I'm already here, so I will probably watch that episode. But I can't believe how just jaded the storytelling is. And this show, once again, the fucking premise of the show has so much promise and potential, bro. It literally killed my spirit watching this show. And once again, I'll point out at the end if I think it's the worst show of all time. We're gonna get into that in the conclusion of this video, but yeah, this show definitely killed my spirit though. Next, we gotta talk about characters, but I'm only talking about two because only two are important. So, Jocelyn. Now, she's played by Lily Rose Depp, and when I first heard of the show, I knew The Weeknd, of course, was in it, so I went and checked out the rest of the cast, and she was the lead. Now, when I first saw it, I'm like, is this some nepotism shit for her to be the lead in this story? Because, to be honest, I never seen or heard of her in anything else, but I'm not really in tune with actors, their personal lives, family, and all that. So I'm like, I'm gonna just give her a chance and see how it goes. And to be quite frank, she's not really bad in the role. Like, she does good with what she's given, I guess. Like, I can't really judge her by anything that happened in this show because the way she was utilized was just so fucking bad. I do think based off what we did see of her, if the story direction went in the way most people wanted it or the way it could have been, I think she would have excelled at the role. From the bits and glimpses we did see of her more humanity side, her morality and things like that, I think she would have excelled in the role. I think even with all the other bullshit they put her through, she does a great job at showing how fragile her mental state currently is, how easy she could get off course, get off pat, how worried her agents, managers, and all that are about her chance of fucking this all up, them wasting money. We do get signs of that, but they just didn't elaborate on it enough for me to feel no type of way, or for me to be like, oh, she was perfect in this role, there's no one else who could have did it, and things like that. Like, we just didn't get enough of that stuff. And once again, this is me filming this before episode 5 is out, because I'm talking about currently. If you tell me in episodes 1 through 4 she showed you enough to be like, okay, her character on its own is saving this show, that's definitely just not true. Like, there's no way I could believe you when it comes to that. But I do think she's the only good character in this show, so props to her for that, I guess. But with all the other characters in this show, I don't really think that's saying much, but I do gotta give her credit. She's good in the role. That's all I really got for you. Next, Tedros, The Weeknd. Bro, I don't know. I already was like, not gonna say creeped out or weirded out by The Weeknd, but I don't know, something was already just off-putting about him as an artist. But his music is fire. I'm not gonna cap about that. His music, that shit go dumb. But in this show, bro, I don't even know what to say to describe what the fuck is going on. I ain't gonna lie, he gave me some of the brightest moments of this show, just laughing at his character, because what the fuck is going on with him? Once again, he's a self-help guru and a leader of a cult. What? Why? What is going on? Apparently, he's just in this show and his character is just a sex magnet. All the girls love him. He does whatever the hell he wants. He has master persuasion and he could get you to do whatever he wants. I don't know. His character is just overall weird, and it's weird to think about him playing this character. And he's the person that's gonna make me say actors or musicians need to stop switching over to acting. Like, most of the time their movie, shows, or anything flops, or you could just never look at them the same. Like, I literally tried to listen to a Weeknd song after this, and nah, I can only think about Tedros, and the shit is disturbing. Like, he literally has some of the worst dialogue I ever heard in any TV show, movie, anything, all time. Like, some of the worst dialogue, lines, the conversations, the scenes, the things they make him do. Why did he go along with this? I think he had to have some type of his perspective and outlook in this story as well for him to do something like that. It makes no sense. His character is just very bizarre, and it's weird because all the other characters in the story kind of realize this and just accept it. Like, literally within the first episode, they describe him as rapey. Yes, they describe him as rapey, and she says she likes that.
What's wrong with him?
He's so rapey.
Yeah, I kind of like that about him.
Bro, I bust out laughing. Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, bro, did they really write this into this show? Did she really say that out loud? His character literally has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. He's definitely the worst part of the entire show, yet he's the only thing that's technically making stuff happen. Any of the interesting things he kind of needs to push forward and make happen, but he's also the best part in some aspects of the show. Once again, I get a kick out of laughing at some of his lines, some of his scenes, some of the shit he does, what he wears, his hair, his design, everything. It just makes me laugh because I'm like, bro, this can't be real life. Like, I can't believe he accepted and took on a role like this. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't want to talk about this guy all day. Like I said, his character is very disturbing, to say the least, and that's all you really need to know about him.
A lot of Jocelyn is definitely inspired by my experiences and experiences that of other artists that I've witnessed, male, female.
Selena Gomez is reacting to her ex-boyfriend The Weeknd's new show, The Idol, and she's reportedly furious at The Weeknd for exploiting her personal struggles in his show.
Now, this part of the video is gonna be, I don't even know, bro, because this is all speculation, theory, people connecting dots. Some people see dots that aren't even there sometimes, but to be honest, I could see the connection with this show and the relationship between The Weeknd and Selena Gomez. And if this is true, this made this show infinitely worse. I was literally in the middle of wrapping up this video when I was looking into more history, more research, seeing if I missed out on anything I should point out before I send off this video to be released. And this dude, The Weeknd, he made the Tedros character and himself even more weird. So apparently the character Jocelyn, a few scenes throughout their show, this whole show is basically a fanfic in his mind, of his perspective of Selena Gomez. And there's a few scenes that fans were able to connect to Selena Gomez in the real world.
Initially wanted to make like a dark, twisted fairy tale with the music industry and everything I know about it.
The Weeknd was inspired by his relationship with Selena for some of the scenes in The Idol.
Character Jocelyn is wearing a bracelet from her recent hospitalization, and her management shrugs it off and says mental illness is sexy. And I don't know, that sounds real familiar to me.
One is that both their tours got canceled, and they make an awesome comeback with a new boyfriend. Jocelyn's plays a pop singer who is determined to be an acclaimed one in the industry. However, after one of her tours gets disrupted, she meets Tedros to redefine her career and improve her music by reaching to the deepest and darkest depths of her soul. Do you remember how Selena's tour also got canceled? Selena Gomez confessed in her documentary, My Mind and Me, that her revival tour wasn't meeting her standards, and so it got canceled. She took a break and made an awesome comeback as The Weeknd's new girlfriend.
And he literally said in an interview, and I hope I played it, that the Jocelyn character is based off his experience and his experience with other musicians, male and female, and that leads people even more into believing it's about Selena Gomez. And once again, I'm not one to dive into speculation and shit like this, but I don't know. Bro is basically playing himself in this role. Like, let's be real. And this is fan fiction. This is literally sexual porn fan fiction. Like, the shit's so weird. He described it as it being a fairy tale, like a dark, twisted fairy tale or something. He said, I don't know. Bro is demented in his head. Like, too many fucking dots connect. And he's known for throwing subliminal shots and messages at Selena all throughout his recent songs. So it wouldn't be surprising if he was to do it in the show as well. He did it for publicity, to get more hype to it. And not that he even needed. He has the most monthly listeners on Spotify all time. I think bro is at like 107 million. So he doesn't even need to do it yet. I think he just likes stirring the pot. Like he said in the interview, he hopes to make people upset with this show as well. Like, who was that directed at? Like, bro is getting more and more strange the deeper I dive into this whole of the Idol. To be real, I'm gonna play clips from other videos, Twitter or TikTok or anything that I've seen, because I don't even want to dive in this. Based off what I've seen, this is too fucking close. Like, there's no way around this. At the very least, it's loosely based off her, and this makes this dude even more crazy than I thought he was. From what I've seen, it's about 3 to 5 things that closely show that this is just Selena Gomez. And I'm gonna admit it, I'm biased. Selena Gomez, my first celebrity crush. Wizards of Waverly Place, favorite Disney Channel show all time. Literally fell in love with her back then. But to take a shot at literally probably the most famous woman on planet Earth, I mean, I believe she has the most followers by a woman on Instagram. She's known from Disney, from being a pop star. She's still a good actor to this day. I believe she got that show on Hulu that I'm gonna check out. I've been hearing good things about it. But to take a shot at her like this, not even take a shot, you're exploiting her to get your show popular and make people watch it, and then it's in the worst way possible because nobody likes the fucking show. Bro, I have to re-record my conclusion like I said, so I'm gonna wrap this part up because I gotta do this, and I still want this video to come out before episode 5 because I'm definitely not watching that episode now. This show, I hope it doesn't have a season 2. The vision, the perspective, the gaze they shot this show from, man, I'm saying too much. I'm gonna say all this in the conclusion, man. He really just exploited her. So, is The Idol the worst TV show of all time? I'm honestly still gonna say no, even after everything I found out. Nothing is gonna go lower than Riverdale for me, and that's for several reasons. I put people on this show, they look at me different for recommending that. When I recommended it after season 1, that show went on for like 7-8 seasons. We're praying The Idol doesn't get a season 2, because it could definitely get much worse. So Riverdale is the worst show of all time to me, but this show is definitely a close second. The point of view this show is shot in just is all wrong, and I think it makes sense now why The Weeknd got rid of the female director, because his point of view or his outlook wouldn't have came across correct. It wasn't what he wanted. This was literally the worst possible outcome for a show like this, and once again I said it all throughout the video, it has so much potential and promise of what it could have been, but bro put his foot on everyone's neck, and I guess he got what he wanted it to be. These critic scores are 100% correct. If anything, the one on Rotten Tomatoes should be even lower for the audience. I don't even know how even half the people gave it a good rating. I don't know. This show definitely doesn't need a season 2. If it gets a season 2, I don't know. I can't even say I'm gonna watch it because I'm currently not even planning on watching episode 5 this weekend. And I said I was gonna finish the show out. But after diving deeper into it, this show is just too fucking... It's too dark-spirited, I guess, is the only way I could put it. Like, I don't want to be anywhere near it. But overall, that's the reason everybody said this is the worst show of all time. This is everything that went on. I might be missing a few things. I didn't want to make this video insanely long. Initially, when I went into this video, I thought it was going to be about 12 to 15 minutes. It's probably double that now, and this is all before I start editing, so it might even go into the 40 minutes, which is going to piss me off. Which is also interesting because I said the show was so fucking painfully boring. So it shouldn't be a lot to say about the show in general, but somehow it is. I guess it's just that bad that you could talk about it that much. But overall, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what else you want to see in the comments. I want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions as well on The Idol, on The Weeknd, or Selena Gomez. Just anything dealing with this topic. Once again, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.